On today's episode, the wrap up for March, I have a finished object, a work in progress, an acquisition, and did I succeed at my 6 month yarn usage challenge? That and more, if that sounds interesting to you, grab a beverage, perhaps maybe your project, and join me. Hello and welcome or welcome back. I am Barbie, your resident multi-crafter, and on this channel I mainly do knitting, crochet, and sewing. However, sometimes you might see some other things here and there sprinkled in. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, please do consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. I would love to have you here along with me. Today is going to be the wrap up for March. This is the last Friday, or you will be seeing this the last Friday in March. It has been absolutely a crazy March. Of course, it's my birthday month. We were moving stuff around and getting stuff situated, as well as we upgraded our internet. Finally! So now I can actually do live streams and not see the little chasing thing when I'm trying to do live streams. So, yay! Plenty of upload speed for all of us. We have been wanting it for a while, so I am very pleased. Anyway, with that, this month I will get to my finished objects here. Besides what you have seen already on my channel for the tests and such, I was able to make a commission. This is my raccoon scarf right here. um, this one is actually commissioned by my friend for another friend, and I really like how this turned out. I was sharing my progress with my friend as far as how well it was coming along and such, just checking in to make sure it was going along the way they wanted it to. Um, and there was a slight change made to it. I was told that they were thinking about asking for tire tracks on it. That friend did not understand what kind of crafter I was, so I ended up ripping back. I designed the tire tracks on this guy, put it on there, sent the updated picture, and they liked it. So that is how he ended up with the little tire tracks. I think he turned out so well, which I am going to be getting to more of that in just a bit when I start talking about the acquisitions. As far as works in progress go, I do have two works in progress besides the socks that are forever going to be a work in progress. I'm thinking I'm going to rip them out again, frog it again. Anywho, that's a whole other story. I do have two works in progress though to show you today. The first one being the farthest that I have gotten on my top down hoodie. So this particular project has been, I believe I have showed it before. I know that it's also pictured on my social media, so if you are wanting to follow me in other places, the link to my link tree and with all of those is in the description below. However, this project, I ended up making the hood. I believe the last time I mentioned this, I was a little bit into the yoke. I had ripped the yoke. I ended up having to frog the yoke, so then that way I could add some different stitching to it. Change the number of stitching that I was doing between the raglans because I was not happy with where the raglans were coming on the sweater. And so I ended up taking that out, restarting it again, and the knitting needles that I had that I used to finish the Grinch sweater, because those the first needle set that I had for the Grinch sweater broke. The replacement pair for those broke like probably 3 inches into the yoke rework for this sweater. So I ended up going and grabbing some of the bamboo circulars from Hobby Lobby. They did not get the job though, because I also went to Michael's and I got the Prim triangular set. Both of these, I believe, are 32 inches long. However, I wanted to try the Prim out first. First, there's some issues with the Prim, and that's why it's currently holding the pocket stitches, because I had gotten to about an inch, I would say, into working past the separation for the sleeves. And I noticed that it was feeling kind of funny. And come to find out, these needles didn't even get halfway through this project before the one, I don't know if you can see that on there. So that is a pair of knitting needles that didn't even get halfway through this particular project. I don't know where to go from here. I ended up also with these real fast. Um, I'm not, they're plastic. If I thought about it a little bit more, I would have realized that that was probably not the best way to go, because I don't care for plastic needles. The stitches don't want to move right. Um, they stick, they bunch. It takes forever to get around 320 stitches. And also, I was part of the thing with this was I was also concerned about the tip breaking. So, come to find out, it was the other end of that particular needle that was on the weaker side. So I brought out the bamboo, I think it is, um, set that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I am just going to finish the sweater out on this. I did not like the idea of swapping from the stainless steel to the plastic Prim needles. However, at this point in time, I just want this particular sweater done. I've seen enough of it. I want to work on stuff for the summer. So, I'm going to finish it off. It may not look the best. You might be able to see where I ended up having to switch over needles. That's all I can say about that. It's just going to have to look funny. It's a sweater for me anyway, so if it does look a little odd, I mean, it is what it is. The next project that I have here, work in progress, is because of the raccoon scarf. Even though I was happy with how it looked and the finished project, I thought about it and I was like, I think I know a better stitch pattern for that particular project. So I was looking at the amount of black yarn that I had left over in the room, and I had some white. And so I thought making a tuxedo cat scarf would be so cute. So I did change up the stitch pattern for the scarf part. This one is using, I think it's called the griddle stitch. I've seen it called a couple of different names, but I believe I go with the griddle stitch. It's single crochet, double crochet, alternating back and forth. Then for the next row, you put a double crochet in the singles and a single crochet into the doubles from the previous row, and it gets you this really fun texture. I know it's dark here, but this is another work in progress. I am super pleased with how this one's turning out so far. It is, I would say, about halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway done. So, yeah, that was also my project, my car project for while I was out and about with my husband for my birthday. And because how I liked how those scarves are coming along, I did end up acquiring some yarn. That particular yarn is the Pound of Love pumpkin. I have it upstairs. I am not going to go up and get it, but I'm considering making a fox version of that same scarf. So that is what I am intending on doing with that. So this is a photo of the yarn that I got. So not bad for acquisition. Just that one skein of yarn for the month of March. And now we're on to the yarn usage part of this particular video. So the question is if I succeeded in my 6 month 5,000 gram challenge. Now that started back in October. It's ending here at the end of March. So I have also decided that I was going to transition into a 2026 total. So I have all of these different numbers that I am going to be now spewing out for you. So the raccoon scarf that I finished was 182 grams. The strip number 6 weighed in at 130 grams, and I did end up working on and filming strip number 7. That you are going to see in April, but saying that I finished that in March, I'm adding that to the March total as well. That ended up being 126 grams for a month total of 438 grams. If you watched February's wrap up, you know that I was at a series total of 4,802 grams. So, with this month's total, that gets me to a series total of 5,240 grams. So, I succeeded. Yay. And because I am transitioning this into a year total, I went back in and grabbed January and February's totals. So this year so far, I have used 1,180 grams of yarn so far in the year of 2026. So a whole lot of numbers, and I am just super excited that I finished that challenge and I succeeded. It was looking really, really good back in October because in the month of October I used like two over 2,500 grams of yarn, and that was a big crochet project that I was doing. So crochet is does tend to be a faster way for me to work through a large amount of yarn. And so when I saw that, I'm like, okay, so maybe I did like mess up and I probably should have put that challenge just a little bit higher. But then I transitioned into some knitting projects and such. So that did slow my usage down a bit. So um, I am very pleased though that I did end up completing that challenge successfully. So yay me. It still does mean that I have quite a few grams left. That was 5,240 grams out of like 77,000 grams. So I do definitely have quite a few skeins of yarn left. um, but I am going to finish up this first scrappy blanket. I have plenty of scrap yarn left to make a second blanket. I already have the wheels turning for how I'm going to be working on that one. So I'm gonna continue on working through my yarn and acquiring some more because my husband and I have been planning our trips for this year, this summer, and early fall. So I have lots of different places on my list as to where I want to go. So there's going to be more yarn coming into the house, but I can work through it. So we're good. And that is the March wrap up. I hope that you liked this. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would love to have you here. I have so many more projects to show you and to go through. So my list of to dos is quite long. So, and until next time, bye.